Hey everybody! Welcome back to
Hello.
Super Derek Streams, or Super Derek Streams, to HitPoint. Gosh, I'm all mixed up today. The only show on the internet where I continue to give the wrong intro, and also, hey everybody, it's good to see you all.
Hello.
Welcome
It
back to
it it
Hip.
it it works. It works.
Oh
It
man,
works. It
yeah.
works.
Welcome back to HitPoint. We are talking about JRPG news today. We're talking about anime news, niche news, and basically anything that interests Baku and I. We're going to talk about it today. And today we've got a whole lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to be answering questions and comments from last episode here pretty soon, and then we'll talk to and respond to super chats that we receive at the end of the episode today. So
Yes.
normally we stream. Hey, we're doing a normal stream today. We stream every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Baku-san JRPG, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Just had an early barbecue yesterday for 4th of July. Also, happy early 4th of July for those in the States. The most patriotic of days. And also happy Canadian Day. I think Canadian Day. That was like July 1st, I think. That was like Friday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Canada
so
Day. That
yeah.
was very recent, wasn't it? Ah,
Yeah. That was I think it was Friday. It's like 2 days ago.
no, I do believe that last week Baku and I we were having a few audio issues where you were being extremely quiet, and it turns out, well, I figured out what the issue was. It's just the headaches of settings changes from moving things around. Well, anyways, I think we should be back to good today
Yes.
on our
Yes.
audio. So good to see you, man. How so? What have
Hey,
you been up to these days? What have you been streaming? Do you stream?
do I stream? Yeah, I do believe I stream.
Hmm.
Currently streaming Persona 4 Golden over at twitch.tv/Pakistan JRPG. And we're looking to do Trails in the Sky third after this. What about you, Mr. Derek? What have you been up to?
I've had a rough long week. It's been a crazy week because it was actually not because of, well, it's for a few things, but work this week has been keeping me very busy, and as a result I haven't actually put out a whole lot of videos this weekend. I haven't really been streaming this week, except I did, I guess, put out one video recapping a lot of the craziness that we're going to talk about this week, more in depth in this episode of Hit Point, but talking about like my impressions and my reactions to the incredible Nintendo Switch Direct that we had this week. But we'll talk about that more a little later on. But if you missed that video and if you'd like to see it, be sure to check it out. I'll have a link somewhere, probably in the description or something. Baku,
Perfect, perfect.
man, aside from, I guess, man, what would you say is today's top headline, man? I'm curious. What are your thoughts on the top headline here?
Nintendo just killing it with that direct on the 28th, and
God,
we're gonna talk about it.
man,
Oh yeah, it's oof.
they killed me with that direct, dude. I
You made a video immediately. I was like, wow, did you have work?
No, not even immediately. I it's so let me tell you a quick story because I
Mhm.
mean because whatever. Uh,
Right.
so I get home from a really long day of work. It's at work they're actually bringing all the remote people in for like a big in-person meeting, and that's like just a really drawn out kind of. I mean, it was fun, but you have to be engaged the whole time, and I was exhausted by the end of it. So then and I come home and I sit down in my chair. It's like 6 p.m. And I look at my Discord and I see I have a little red one next to my icon there. And it's a message. It's from Baku. He says, "Hey, did you see that Nintendo Direct? It was fire." I was like, no, I didn't see the Nintendo Direct because it happened this morning. I was like,
Mhm.
well, if it was that fire, everybody's already probably made a video about it. But whatever. I'll go ahead and I'll flip it on. I'll record it just in case something cool happens.
Mhm.
Well, something cool happened. Just- I was very excited, and I had very little time to put the video together, so I just threw it together as quickly as possible, and then yeah, it was really
I
fun to talk about, but
Yeah,
it was a lot.
I forgot what I was doing, but then, like, I saw, like, a video, like, prompt pop up. I was just like, "What?" Like, from YouTube. I was like, "What?" I'm getting a notification. Oh, Derek has a new video. Oh, it's about the Nintendo. I watched it. It's like, yo, Baku told me to watch this. And I'm like, man, I'm getting name dropped.
Speaking of name drops,
I
Baku.
liked it.
So a lot of I think a lot of people haven't put this these two and two together, but sometimes you comment in the YouTube chat here, and your name shows up as Weeb Sauce, right?
Oh my God. We're talking about this now.
I mean, we'll probably talk about it in a little bit, but everybody, just a heads up. Speaking of name drops, Baku here. If you see him in the chat, his name is Weeb Sauce. Make sure you give him a follow here on Twitch. Get subscribed here on YouTube, rather, not here on Twitch. Get subscribed on YouTube so that you can see some of the videos he's starting to put out, because he's putting out kind of I wouldn't say daily, but they're pretty frequent video updates talking about various other forms of news that that we talk about in passing here on HitPoint, talking about, you know, niche news and other things. Baku, there's a lot of stuff that you never go too far into with these episodes, but on your show,
it's really hard.
but in your
It's
show,
really
you do.
hard.
Like, you've already been talking about
I
like
do.
HoloLive and some other figures and stuff that that have been popping up on your show. You want to tell people what
Yeah.
you've been doing over there a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I mean, hey, but thanks for bringing it up. Weep Sauce is a new channel that I put together, and it's really just talks about, like, you know, the weep culture, you know, all the fun stuff from Japan. So sometimes I'll talk about crazy news from Japan that, you know, doesn't really make it here. Like, did you know some dude just like kicked the crap out of a bear out
I
of his home?
yeah, I saw that
Like,
episode.
that's the thing.
Yeah, some
You
guy
know,
just
I'll
kicked
talk
a
about
bear
like
in the butt.
VTubers.
Just kicked it
Yeah,
in the butt
yeah.
until it left.
In the butt until it leaves. Don't mess with like middle-aged men over in Japan. That's for sure. And you know, just a lot of things that we can't get into, because as you will see from tonight, even just talking about all the games, it's gonna be like, this is gonna be like 3 hours show, Derry. I hope you're ready for this, because that's a lot of game stuff to talk about. But we talk about things that are probably a little further from gaming, and a lot more closer to pop culture. So hey, if you guys are into that sort of stuff, you want to dive deeper into the weeb culture, Weeb Sauce is here for you, weekly videos.
Yeah, make sure you check him out, guys. All right. Well, before we do dive further into this week's news, though, perhaps we should take a quick gander at some comments from last week.
Yes, let's do it. All right. So I've got one such Alpha Silverblade who said, yes, I want to go back to bumping enemies. That was so fun. I'm tired of games with 4 hits combo where the last hit do more damage than the rest of the combo, but you never do a full combo because all enemies have super armor and interrupt your combo after 2 hits by attacking you while you attack them. You know, that is,
Mhm.
I just had to pick this because I'm like, wow, some people actually do like the bumping mechanics. So, dude, Alpha Silverblade, I hope they bring the bumping mechanics back at some point at some games. Probably not East, but at some point, someone's gonna make an indie game with bumping mechanics, and when they do, we'll let you know.
You know, that's super interesting, actually. Well, so, I mean, it came up because of that indie RPG that seems to have featured bump mechanics. It was that Mystery Dungeon, I think, or roguelike rather, that seemed to have some sort of bump mechanics. So, yeah, we'll definitely talk about more of them as they crop up. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I hadn't actually considered that side of things from that Alpha Silverblade brought up here about you know, how that kind of equalizes things. I guess it kind of makes it so that, like, oh yeah, even like one attack is just as good as the next attack. It's not like, yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Definitely a lot less flashy, but hey, it's a lot easier to program, that's for sure. So, you know, an idea for you know, prospective indie developer, you know. People do like that kind of stuff, just saying.
Yeah, we got this other comment here from Freddy Ken who says, I still want to play the Urawareru Mono games and brought them here and bought them some years ago on my PS4, but I didn't have the time to play. Also, in July, we got another anime for Urawareru Mono. This time is for the third game, and I'll definitely watch that. With all of these games, I definitely need a clone machine to play them all. Does anyone know where I can get one or has one that they can lend out to them? So just wanted to help spread that PSA for Freddy Ken, that if anybody has
Hmm.
a cloning machine in order to help them divide and conquer these games, be sure to let them know in the comments down below.
I would like to borrow one set machine because man, I really could use more time in a day. I'll have
Hmm.
one of me who will do work, one of me who will like just play games for fun, one of me who will stream, make videos, watch anime. That's at least five of me. I need five of me
Yeah,
at least.
that
What
sounds.
would you do, Derek? How would you like spread your clones?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Let's say they all get to share the experience like equally, but you get like the multiple of like yourselves to do things. What would you do?
Gosh, I don't even know because I wouldn't want to be too mean to any one of them because I wouldn't be like, okay, you're in charge of going to work for me every day so that I can focus on doing other things 4 times. Like I wouldn't want to be
No,
that guy.
experience would be shared. So if one goes to work,
Hmm.
they all share the load. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, what wouldn't I do? If,
Yeah, what would you do? What would you like to do?
well, gosh, I would like to play more RPGs. I'd like to review more RPGs. I'd like to stream more often, make more YouTube videos, and I would like to work on hot rodding my e-bike a little bit more.
Maybe that's what you should do. That's the next thing you should do is do that. We haven't
Yeah.
heard you talk about that forever.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
maybe we'll
but
talk about that sometime. But
yeah,
um,
but that really spoke to me. Just that spoke to me deep in my soul. Just like man, I want a clone machine.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Now, if anybody has any comments that they would like to leave them down in the comments down below, or you can also call us at 785-337-3805 and leave us a voicemail, or you can also send us a voicemail file to uh, HitPoint at superdarkrpgs.com, and we'll play it on the air. But this week we did not see any come through, so we'll hit them up on the next episode.
Yes.
And just a quick reminder for anybody who leaves super chats that we will review and respond and other things to those at the end of the episode today. So we'll see them
Yes.
there.
We'll be doing that. All right.
All right. So before we dive into the big stuff, the good, exciting, great stuff, there's a little bit of quick housekeeping that I would also like to do here for Sea of Stars, because people are already talking about that in the comments. I can see here lamenting the delay from Sabotage Studios. They've announced on Twitter that they are going to be delaying Sea of Stars from its original holiday 2022 release window to sometime in 2023. And now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the game, this is that much anticipated retro inspired, I would say like Chrono Trigger inspired, based on like the
Yeah.
graphics, and it's gonna have like it's got the legendary composer behind Chrono Trigger, Yasunori Matsuda, contributing music to some of the soundtracks. It looks just absolutely incredible. If you haven't seen Sea of Stars, the trailer, check it out. But be sure to hype responsibly as you do so, because, like I just said, it has been hyped. It has been delayed until next year. So
That's right.
keep your eyes on that one. But I don't really feel too bad about it, honestly, because that's one of the games that when it comes out, I'm playing it immediately. And
Mm-hmm.
the longer I have until that happens, the more flexibility it gives my schedule. So I don't have to like worry about, oh, am I gonna have enough time? Am I gonna hit it when it hits the ground? Am I gonna I can just relax and like I got another 6 months before I have to start worrying about it again.
At least 6 months. At least 6 months.
At least 6
Sometime
months.
2023. At least 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have 6 months at least where I can just not worry about when it might drop. Because if it drops in like January 2023,
Mm-hmm.
it's a
Right.
possibility. Not
Yeah,
super
it's
likely.
possible. Yeah.
But anyways, it looks incredible, and also I hope they take their time on it. It looks like they've got something really special on their hands, and I just don't want to see
Yeah.
that get wasted by trying to meet some arbitrary deadline that that honestly at this point I just don't even tell me when it's coming. Just shadow drop everything from now on. That'd make my life easier. Except that would make the HitPoint news a lot more boring. So let's not do that on second thought.
You know what I'd like company to do is just let us know that they're gonna release the game like 2 months in advance. Right?
Mhm.
Within 2 months, I think you're pretty spot on with the day, right? Just let me know 2 months in advance. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't tell me like a year in advance, not 6 months in advance. Tell
Mhm.
me 2 months in advance.
I would
That
say
that way, yeah.
they can what they should do, maybe not a
Mhm,
solid 2 months, but what they could do is, like, every time that they ship a game, by that I mean they send the code off to, the production line where they're gonna start making the games and the cartridges and the discs
mhm.
and stuff. Once they've sent it to them, then you announce it.
Yeah, yeah, with some kind of physical,
Yeah.
presence, right? Physical, oh, what's the word I'm going for? Commitments,
Yeah.
like financial commitments, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
no, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes
once
perfect sense.
and then, if you don't have a physical release, you just don't talk about it. It's fine.
Exactly. Exactly. Digital only games, don't know those. All right. Yeah. So, that's an unfortunate delay, but hey, we do have some new stuff for games that's already been released. Let's talk a little bit about Source Online. Alicization like chorus.
Okay,
That
so
is wow.
so I a while back I made a passing comment about this game about how I was like Alicization, Alice is I couldn't figure how it was supposed to say, but I said, it doesn't matter, it's just a made up word anyway. And then somebody took me to task. They said the Lycoris
Uh-huh.
is the name of some sort of flower, and then
Mhm.
that's actually Alicization is apparently how this is supposed to be pronounced because it's reference to Alice in Wonderland. I don't know. It's still a made up word, but it makes sense ish.
There's a character in the anime in this arc. Her name is Alice, and it's this whole thing. Alicization is this whole thing.
Hmm.
Where they basically uh, Kirito went to like a virtual world and so on and so forth. And then Alicization is bringing these virtual like people, so these souls into the real world's Alicization. So
Hmm.
that's what that is. And Alice is the first souls, the virtual souls to be brought into the real world.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes.
that's something.
See, there
Okay.
you go, man. That's that weeb knowledge that like
Thank you for that weeb knowledge drop.
will not help me in any other things in life, but it does help me talk about this right here, right now. It's been used.
All right. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead and continue.
Anyways, so Source Online, Alicization, Lycoris, the 2020 Source Online title that's loosely based on the Alicization arc of the light novel is receiving its second expansion called Blooming of Matricaria. I'm guessing another kind of flower.
Must be.
Um, Yeah, not much is announced right now, other than the fact that it will introduce a new character named Log, who will well an axe and steel. Let's take a quick look at that trailer, shall we?
You betcha.
I mean, I get why people really don't like Source Online. I get that, but like it's like super prolific. Clearly, there's a lot of fans there supporting this like series. So
Yeah. I mean, I feel like most of the criticism that I hear about this game, or rather not the game, but the anime specifically, because I
Mhm.
don't feel like anybody plays the games if they don't already love the anime. But most of the issue that I hear coming from people who are like, "Oh, I'm not so sure about the anime," is how it just doesn't have real MMO mechanics built into the, as opposed to like Log Horizon, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It feels very made up, you know, or at least that was the criticisms that I had heard. Personally speaking, as not an MMO player, I could not care any less about that aspect of the game.
Right.
But
I think they moved on away from, like, the MMO-ish thing. That was more like just really the first arc, second maybe arc, and then they have, like, slowly I think they've slowly tried to move away from that. And, it's been interesting. The
mhm.
worldview that they're bringing in is getting grander, but at the same time, they've really tried to change the formula up. so that it's not like isekai situation. That world's coming into that real world in a really profound way.
Hmm.
So I think in that sense they have sort of differentiate themselves with all the other isekai anime. Where you either like somehow stuck in a game like Log Horizon or just straight up go to a different world. So that's what I was saying. Like, yeah, they're bringing these like souls into their actual world, and inhabiting these like robotic bodies and what have you, and
Hmm.
it's impacting the real world. So that's sort of like a new direction they're going. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I think that maybe I should give that another look at some point because what I found when I watched the third season, or
Hmm.
started to watch the third season, I just felt like there were zero stakes. Even in the second season, I felt like it was really hard to get invested in in the game because it's like it no longer felt like you die in the game, you die in real life. So it's like what's the real draw? But if that's what they're
Hmm.
doing with Alicization, then I mean, that sounds like that's a way to reintroduce some real world stakes into, what's going on. So,
I
um,
think that's, honestly, I think that's what the author probably heard from everybody too. So
mhm.
he's like, okay, I gotta write something different here. And I think they did just that. So
Yeah.
I won't spoil it, but you should take a look.
All right. Well, maybe I'll give it a gander at some point. Um,
Yes.
in the
Okay.
meantime,
So
oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
yes. So the base game and the first expansion called the Blooming Forget Me Not, Forget Me Not, yeah. Immediately available on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. No release date on the second expansion at the moment. And also on related news, and this just came in from Anime Expo, it's been announced that this game will be coming to the Switch, which goes with our today's theme. It's going to the Switch. Hi. There's no release date on that either, but it is been announced by Bandai Namco, and they're probably gonna make good on their words. It's Bandai Namco, so it's coming.
Yeah, and you know what? I can
Yeah.
I can already hear it because this happens every time that a game comes to Switch, or every time a
Mhm.
game doesn't come to Switch, and people are upset that it doesn't come to Switch. So let me just take a quick diversion here for a moment and just say here's the reason why it matters whether or not a game comes to Switch or not, and
Mhm.
that's that the Nintendo Switch has sold so many millions of units at this point that it's just a really good way to ensure that everybody has the ability to play one of these games, not just because of like the how many switches there are out there, but because the switch is portable, people can actually play them like on their commutes, on their lunch breaks at work, in various other ways that allows them to utilize their basically their dead time when they cannot do anything else, right? So it
Yeah.
by far just expands the playability of the time that the people have at their disposal. So that's why it's great when games eventually do come to Switch, because while there are people like me who never leave the house if they can help it, there are plenty of people out there who live disconnected from their consoles, disconnected from power, and like to play in those short bursts in between the rest of life that's happening for them. So that's why it's exciting to see this become more and everything else that we'll be talking about, even though they're old news, they're old games. That's why it's exciting to see these coming to other consoles at this point. And
I
the
do
Steam
want to
Deck
add.
even. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, and I do want to add one more anecdote, and that is, I was talking about this during my stream and explaining why the Switch kind of mattered, why it was super popular in Japan, specifically in the urban settings, because there are a lot of people who lives in spaces where they can't even have a TV because they just don't have enough space.
Ooh,
Space is so expensive.
yeah.
It's not like they're poor per se. It's just, man, you have no idea. Like this room right here, this is someone's like entire family and living space, period, with the kitchen and bathroom and everything. And that's luxury already. They don't have space for TVs. So the
Wow.
Switch is all you've got. The handheld's all you've got. If you're not, and that's next to playing on again cell phones, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, so they don't even have the TV. They don't have monitors. They don't have that option. So then that's why the Switch kind of matters. So and I
Okay.
never thought of that until I read like an article about, people just talking about like, oh, I don't even have space for TV, so I play on the Switch. I'm like, wow, I never thought about that. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's another anecdote.
That is also something I had actually never heard. But that makes a lot of sense. And we're talking specifically in Japan where space is at such a premium, and maybe some places in like New York City where you have a,
New York
you know,
City,
10
Hong
square foot
Kong,
loft.
yeah, places like that
Yeah.
where having the space for a TV is the luxury. They can afford the TV. They can't afford the space to put the TV.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
such an interesting spin that I hadn't considered. And that's maybe why it's so great that so many RPGs are headed towards Switch as well, you know. Yeah, that's
Hey.
that's that's so cool. Thanks for that additional bit of information. I never would have got that.
You're welcome. Here in HitPoint, we'll always appreciate and promote more ways to play. So
Well, so moving along next to something that's not coming out on Nintendo Switch, we're talking about Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. We're getting the first expansion titled
Mhm.
Trails of
Trials.
Trials. Yeah, Tales
I
of
know, I
Dragon King. No,
know.
I know.
Tales of
Tales, Trails, Trials. Trials
Yes.
of the Dragon King is coming out
Mhm.
on the 20th of this month. This is the
Yes.
first of three expansions rather, that are planned for the game that are included in the season pass. The two future expansions are going to be called Wanderer of the Rift and Different Future. The trailer is linked in the description, so you can check that out if you'd like to. It's got the major spoilers to the base game in it, though, so we won't be showing it on this show. But it is there if you want to see it. So click after today's episode has concluded.
After, yeah. The link will be there. The video's there, okay? But this is live, this experience is right here, right now.
But otherwise, Stranger of Paradise is currently available on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, S, and also on PC. So you have several ways to get caught up if you'd like to check that out.
Absolutely. All right. So now let's talk about some upcoming releases. In the next week, there's a very interesting new game from Nippon Ichi Software that mixes escape adventure, think like Zero Escape, like 999, and also shoot 'em ups, which was just two things that I never thought I would see in a game. The game is called Yurukill, the Culmination Games.
Hmm.
In this game, convicted prisoners face a series of attractions in Yurukill land. If they and their executioner partners can overcome the Yurukill games, they'll be absolved of their alleged crimes. So that's the base of the game. You want to take a look at that trailer and see what that looks like?
You bet. Let's check it out.
So that's Yurukill land right there.
It looks like a boat rave headed
See,
to
only
another
Japan
rave.
would think of stuff like this.
と申します。ゆるキルランドは夢のテーマパーク。つまり囚人と執行人が
Is she what you would call an Ojo-sama?
それでは
No, Ojo-sama is like rich girls.
She seems like that. Like
I think she's
she would
like some
totally.
weird announcer lady.
She seems like she would totally laugh as that. Kind of, you know. Wait, peeping toms? What?
ゆるキルランドを出るまで
Yeah,
ずっと
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that means either. I'm curious.
All right.
So yeah, it's got like different mini games and like different situations that you put in.
Kind of
It
like
tests your logic. Yeah,
interesting. It kind of
So-
looks
so
like a
Zero Escape,
little bit like
Danganronpa.
I was thinking
There are
Professor
also
Layton.
some Professor. Yeah. There are those kind of elements in
Mhm.
like detective sort of like solving puzzles. but also shoot 'em up. I'm just like, why?
Huh.
I'm not sure how this fits in to all this, but here we are.
Why not?
And that is a bona fide like shoot 'em up game. Not even just like it's a major thing apparently in this. I don't know. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there you go.
皆様全員の冤罪を晴らすことはできません。
Okay.
She did the laugh.
She did.
She did. You called it.
I know how to spot myself in Ojo-sama.
So yeah, there you go. That's the gist of the game. I would imagine that there would be like multiple endings and all that fun stuff. So yeah, so I think if you are a fan of the Zero Escape games, maybe Ida Somnium Files, Danganronpa, like I think that this is going to be a game that you would be interested in. This game is coming out on the 5th, so in like 2 days. It's going to be released on PS4, PS5, and the Switch.
And Nintendo Switch. No kidding.
And Nintendo Switch. Yeah. Wow.
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 Awesome. Well, thank you so much, dude. All right. Well, do you want to tackle this this next big new game announcement here?
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So, before we get to the Nintendo Direct, there are a couple of other games that we do want to talk about that weren't in the Nintendo Direct, but are still nonetheless, super notable. So, we got a almost 40 minutes long broadcast from Square Enix that gave us a lot more information about the game called Star Ocean: The Divine Force. I don't know. You guys might have heard of the Star Ocean series. I don't know.
No.
It's just yeah, I don't. I know, very niche. So super exciting because the game is bringing back that like sci-fi / fantasy thing, and it's just like really incredible. We kind of talked about Final Fantasy as being like sort of a sci-fi like / fantasy, but not quite like Star Ocean, because Star Ocean has a very distinctive like backstory that allows for very primitive fantasy storytelling, but also got spaceships coming in. So I think it's super cool what they're doing there. So now this presentation from Square Enix, again, it's like 40 minutes long. It's giving us a lot of information about the game and introduced a lot of characters. But most notably, I think this is the big important part, is that the players will be able to choose their protagonist. So I think it hasn't been done since Star Ocean 2.
Yeah.
Right. So now you can either pick a princess. Oh boy, I might try to pronounce this. Letitia of Osirius on the planet of Aster 4, or Captain Raymond Lawrence, who is the head of the spaceship Edis. We do have a new trailer, so do you want to take a look at that?
Yeah. Let's check it out.
It looks good. It looks good. I'm not gonna lie, it looks good. I still don't like the character model.
Because you thought they looked a little plasticky, right?
Little Barbie doll, like, I don't know.
A little too smooth.
Do you see it in their face and stuff? Just like super.
Yeah. It doesn't bug me too badly right now.
It's like they have no skin texture whatsoever.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like it.
Yeah, which makes them look super plasticky and like weird.
Or maybe it's not the lack of texture, but maybe it's just like the strange kind of somewhat shine on the faces. Like
yes,
the glossiness is a little high.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But it still looks good. Like the aesthetics looks great. So I'm still stoked for this.
I concur. That does. Yeah, see, it's just a little too much of a glossy sheen to everybody.
And the voice acting has been pretty good so far. And you guys know that I don't play in English dub, but you know, it's still really good English dub. Anyone who is like worried, like, will that be English dub? Well, you're listening to it right now.
We are the ones who should be utilizing this power. Take control of her, and all this can change. Besides, Our ride will be coming soon.
That does look
Which
pretty
means we have to
cool.
take what we want.
Being able to like jet around.
You mean we gotta fight them too?
That should be something in every RPG. Just make it so that I never have to like run around for way too long. Just jet to
Yes.
wherever I want to go.
Jetpacks for every protagonist.
Interstellar has already deployed forces throughout the system to intercept.
Chrono Trigger remake. Chrono gets a jetpack.
Jetpacks.
Yep. Just jetpacks for everybody.
That's the only improvement.
Live Alive remake. Jetpacks.
Jetpacks.
Any battle of yours is a battle of ours.
I know of many experiences in this world far worse than death. There's nothing we can do.
Is evacuating the correct course of action?
That guy looks like a bard if I ever saw one.
Yes.
I dig it.
Got this. But
I'm a sucker for
why would
bards.
you do that?
Perhaps it's best.
I think he's one of 6 playable characters.
Tell them your
Nice.
purpose and identity.
It is not our intent to conquer. And why
They
should
really
we
do
believe
include quite a bit in this trailer. Like
you
it.
have rejected our
Mhm.
every guarantee of safety?
Oh, I mean, it's this is basically the pre-release trailer already because it's coming.
Yeah.
This year's a very busy year.
I know.
So wait until you hear the release date for this one.
Such a future is now their fate.
I don't think I'm ready.
I'm not ready. I was already really full. I was really, really full.
Oof. Oh.
There you go. So this
Oh.
game is releasing in October 27th.
Oh man.
I've never this is such a first world problem.
3 months. Too soon. Too soon.
I'm grunting about a great game coming so soon. Like, oh, why do you have to come out so soon?
I know, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
October 27 on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox XS, and PC. Just not the Switch. I see a pattern here
Not
now.
the Switch this time.
It's either you're with the Switch or you're not with the Switch. This one is not with the Switch.
That's
but you
right.
know what?
Get in or get out.
I bet you it will come on the Switch in like a year. Just give it a little time.
I don't know. It looks like it's pushing the next gen, so it'll come out on Switch Pro whatever
Switch
that is.
Pro, whatever,
You know,
whenever.
I'll
that's
I'll just keep sprinkling those rumors in the hopes that someday that they become truth.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I think if it was not for the pandemic, the
We would have
Switch
had
Pro
one by now.
might have probably happened.
I agree.
There's just production. There's just no way. They're like Nintendo is like,
Yeah.
we're not trying to be the next PS5 where you know all the install base is just stuck.
Yeah.
You know, like why would they do that?
Yeah, they dodged a bullet by not doing that. Like it, because can you imagine the logistics? They basically, I feel like they must have scrapped that. They must be working on the next follow
Yeah.
up to the Switch, whatever that must be. Because
Yeah.
if they were to try to put that out at this point, it'd be too weak. Still, even now, if whatever their original Switch Pro was going to be, probably wouldn't be enough at this point to satisfy people. So
Yeah, absolutely.
so they probably hit the drawing board, and we're just gonna have to make do for a while. That's my guess. I mean, Baku and I are not subject to privy to privileged information. That's the word. Yeah. So don't.
My dad does not work for Nintendo.
My uncle works for no. Okay.
You know,
Speaking-
that's like a weird like meme that goes on where it's like, oh yeah, my dad works for Nintendo.
Yeah. Speaking of uncles who work for Nintendo, because I feel like this is totally something Shin-Chan would say. Shin-Chan, me and the professor on summer vacation is a game that was recently
I'm so
announced.
excited for this.
I know.
I shouldn't be this excited for it, but I'm so excited for this.
I know it is so stupid. That's why when I saw this, I was like, he has to go into the thumbnail. so he helped Teddy with chaining up the gal from another game that we'll talk about in a minute. But Shin-Chan, me and the professor summer vacation. This is a previous Japan and Nintendo Switch exclusive that it was released back last year in around this time last year. It is now getting a global release and it's coming to PS5. The game follows Shin-Chan and his summer vacation in the countryside in Kumamoto. Players will be able to fish, catch bugs, and play tons of minigames as Shin-Chan in this cozy little adventure. And you want to check out this trailer here?
Yeah.
So this is a Japanese trailer, but it will be getting an international release. So expect to see, the English localization staff involved, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I don't know why there's no English trailer. It's just so weird. I looked all over the place. Maybe there is one like right now. Like I wouldn't know, but when I was writing this thing, I could not find it.
Look at this. It's Shin-Chan.
It's so cute. Oh my god. This is my childhood. This is my whole freaking childhood right here.
I feel like I'm so late to the Shin-Chan train, but I still think he's hilarious. It's like, and for those of you who aren't familiar with who Shin-Chan is and why we're excited about it, Shin-Chan is kind of like if South Park was a show for kids that was made in Japan.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
Kind of. Yeah, kind of. More PG in some ways and less PG in others. Is weird.
Correct.
With all the Japanese sensibility you can imagine.
That's why I'm saying like it's a much more Japanese version of those things. I mean, I guess when localized to the US, it feels like South Park. Oh man.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this. So yes, it is an older trailer, but I just need some way to show you guys what the game looks like.
Yeah.
So no English trailers.
It's an older trailer, but it checks out.
Yeah. Yep. It's still gonna be that game.
Yeah. It's just in English and other languages probably.
So this one is in August 2022. Are you ready for that?
No. It doesn't look like there's turn-based combat, so maybe I can get away with not playing it this time. But I want to. It's probably not an RPG, but it looks fun anyway. I love it.
I think it's one of those games where
maybe I'll play it anyway.
Just play it on the side. Just like this is just something to get away from other RPGs.
Any idea about how long the game actually is? Because it's supposed to be just a cozy kind of little adventure, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think you can just play like a couple, mini games, do like a little story, and just put it away, and then just like pick it back up, do another mini game. Like I don't think this is one that's gonna take in like substantial amount of time. You can kind of put it down like whenever you feel like it. So, yeah. So August 22nd on PS4 and the Switch, man. Look forward to it.
Yeah. Thanks. All right.
Now we get into the meat of the matter. Let's talk about the Nintendo Direct. That was on the 28th. Speaking of ports and re-releases, the NieR Automata, the end of YoRHa edition is coming to the Switch. It's got new mode, costumes that's exclusive to the Switch, and it looks really good. The only problem is this game is coming at you at 30 FPS, no matter if you dock it or not. So, which is going to be a little painful, admittedly, because this game is kind of known as for like the fluent, fast-paced gameplay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that 30 FPS is going to be extremely noticeable. But nonetheless, it is coming to the Switch on October 6th, 2022. So if you play on the Switch, you've never got the chance to experience NieR Automata, do not sit on this one. This game is just one of the top games I've ever played. It's just I can write essays on this for days.
When you told me that the Direct was fire, I was like, when that trailer played, I was like, okay, this is why Baku was so excited.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh,
why
does
don't you
it?
tell the good people why?
Oh, well, so I guess, I mean, I kind of already talked a little bit about this in my other video, but you can check that out later if you missed it. But Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5 Royal are coming to the Nintendo Switch.
We called it.
About dang time.
Just had to wait.
I gotta admit, I was thinking maybe P5 or P4G, maybe Persona 3 Portable. I thought those are pretty much a shoo-in. Did not expect Persona 5 Royal to come to Switch. I was like,
yeah.
I mean, technically Persona 5 it started off as a PS3 game, which I think that the Switch, I'm sorry, it was a PS3 game. I think that the Switch is about as powerful as the PS3, more or less.
Mhm.
But it still struck me as like, oh man, they'd have to really kind of like work around the edges on that for a while to really optimize it to look good and work well for Switch. I thought it was, they probably wouldn't be able to do it. Well, they done it.
Yeah.
They
They
finally done
done
it.
did it. They
Guys,
done did it.
I hope this goes to show. Don't quit believing. If you whinge enough, eventually ATLUS might cave to your demands. And hey,
True.
I'm guilty of it too. We've been port begging for the Persona franchise ever since the Switch was released, and I'm glad to see it finally was a fruitful endeavor after all. So we'll expect to see Persona 5 Royal come out on the 21st of October this year on the Nintendo Switch. And then,
Yes.
as with the other Persona announcements, P3P and P4G are coming at some other undisclosed later date. But keep your eyes peeled for the episode of HitPoint when we tell you when that is, because you can bet that we will keep you abreast of that situation as it develops.
That's right.
Now, for people who aren't super big into Persona, though, there was also a several ports that were announced of the Megaman Battle Network Legacy Collection. Now, this is a collection of a bunch of different games. So it's Collection Volume 1 will include Mega Man Battle Network 1 through 3, which includes 4 total games. I don't know. So there's like
I'll explain that in a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Volume 2 will include Mega Man Battle Network 4 through 6, which contains 6 games.
If you watch the trailer, it will make sense.
Yeah. So in total, there are like 10 games in the Mega Man Battle Network that are coming to the Nintendo Switch throughout these 2 different collections in total, which is a lot. So let's check out the trailer and maybe it'll help us make sense of the strange numbers here that we're seeing. All 10 Mega Man Battle Network games are back. Now, somebody did say that in the comments of my video that it was a shame that there were some games that were being left out, and I'm not sure what they were referring to. So I don't know if that's true or not, but maybe Baku can shed light on that. I don't know.
It'll make sense in just a second. I promise. That looks so good, man. I'm actually super excited that we get to keep this, game in a modern, console. And all in a nice little package, so you don't have to bounce to different things. And, I think they made it easy to play this game. How's that?
Yeah.
All the characters and new features. Oh man, look at all those illustrations. all the songs. Oh my god.
High res filter.
Yeah, no, it does not look good. She like it. See, there you go. That's why there are 10 games. You catch that just now?
No.
Okay, so it's 1 and 2, and then starting from 3 on, it's 2 games per 2 separate games per number, if that makes sense. So it's 1 and 2, and then it's Battle Network 3 white, Battle Network 3 blue, and then it just goes on like that. So 4 there are 2 games, 5 there are 2 games, 6 there.
So it's kind of like if they were to include a Pokemon collection, they are including red and blue and counting it as 2, right? And then they're including Sapphire and Emerald, and right, kind of like that in a way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
So it makes sense. I can dig it. I'm not faulting them for it, but it makes a lot of sense. That's how it adds up to that number, because they split, they diverged, they released in duologies, I guess. So.
Yes, something like that. So yeah, I definitely check that out. It's a great series. I needed to come back. I want Capcom to sell this and sell well, and then just come up with a new Battle Network game, because I think we're ready for this.
Yeah.
I think Battle Network is ready for prime time.
All right. Well, moving along.
Yes. Okay. So we got this next game here. It's called RPG Time: Legend of Wright. This is a very unique, handmade notebook adventure from Aniplex that is, according to their official website, the culmination of 16 years of conception and 10 years of development.
This seems really familiar to me. I feel like I've seen this concept at E3 maybe a couple years ago or something. I don't
Well,
know,
see,
but
this game is actually available on Xbox already, but it's coming out on PS4 and the Switch August 18th. So,
okay.
and also on PC in September 13th. I don't know why. There's this like weird, odd, like staggered like release date. So
Mhm.
Xbox is out August 18th for PS4 and Switch, September 13th for PC via the Steam. But take a look at the game and you'll see why it's like 10 years development, 16 years of conception. What?
Yeah,
Take a look at it. I've never seen anything like this.
I know.
Well, quite like this.
So when I saw this during the Nintendo Direct, oh, it's a different trailer, but it definitely struck me as being extremely unique, but hard to really put my finger on.
Yeah.
The Legend of Wright. The visuals in the notebook spring to life as animation, and the items all have a
Like-
handcrafted feel.
I had to talk about it.
Yeah.
I had to talk about it. Like, this looks so good. Like, I love how different it is.
It is incredibly different, which is one of the reasons I didn't actually talk about it on my last show, because I was like, it deserves a topic of its own to discuss and
Yes.
really kind of explore this, because
A notebook adventure that everyone can enjoy.
It feels
kind
like
of
there's a
reminds me-
lot of love and care put into this, too.
it reminds me a lot of that other game that we saw, the indie RPG, where it was like they start off in a book, but then they popped out of the book and like
Oh,
started,
yeah.
yeah. It reminds me a lot
I think that was
of
a
that.
Yeah, I think that was a Devolver game.
I think you're right. We
Yeah, I
talked
think that
about
was
it
the Devolver
last
game.
week. Yeah.
Yeah. During the summer Game Fest, right?
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah. Yeah, that one also looked really good. I'm super stoked for that one too. But this one is like, okay, so
the hand
I don't-
drawn, the note paper aesthetic.
Mhm.
I love that, because
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I drew so much during high school and in grade school. I spent more time drawing on lined ruled paper than probably learning, which is yeah, well, that's why I'm not a doctor, but
just so you know, Derek's totally smart enough to be a doctor, but he's just
oh yeah, I just
drawing a lot more.
exactly, so so yeah, ruled paper is one of those just extremely nostalgic. It's just built into me at this point. When I see it, I'm like, oh, memories. Memories
Yeah,
of all
absolutely.
the doodles.
I don't know if you ever done this like way back, but like we used to play these like paper like role play games just on paper. Just like make these games up when we were kids, because like we're kids, like and that's all we had at the school, is just these like papers. So we actually would write these things up and just like use our imagination and play. And like I don't know if kids do these nowadays, but like back when I was in elementary school, we absolutely did something similar to that. Not quite as elaborate as this, but it just like
No.
reminds me so much of like those days. So I don't know, man. Like, you want to talk about nostalgia? Like, this is like actual nostalgia.
Oh yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
when I played Pokemon and I played Earthbound back in the day, I was like, when I wasn't playing video games, I was thinking about them and I was sketching my own ideas for RPGs
Right?
and stuff. And
Right?
and this is just and I feel like maybe that's what they meant by it's like a culmination of 16 years of conception, because it's probably like
right.
because it's probably like 16 years of them since like grade school, like just
Right.
drawing and like making these concepts and then eventually making an actual game out of all of that. Can you imagine? Oh, that
Can you imagine?
I
Well,
cannot.
imagine no more. This game is coming out again and available now on Xbox. So those of you playing Xbox, you can get it right now. For us non-Xbox folks, August 18 on PS4 and Switch, and September 13 for PC Master Race. So
Mhm.
check that out.
Yeah. Well, we also had a lot of other things that came up during the Switch Nintendo Direct that we're just gonna blitz through real quick.
Yep.
Go for it.
All right. So a couple of notable mentioned. Super Bomberman R2 is coming, which is great. Blanc, which looks
Dude,
amazing.
this Blanc actually, to be totally honest, I almost wanted to play the trailer for it here, but we already have so many. But
I
Blanc
know.
was definitely a standout. And as I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is going to be one of those games that ends at a really sad ending. I can already tell.
Yeah, I know. But I'm still gonna play it.
I know.
If you guys have not seen what Blanc looked like, go look it up. Not right now. Again, just after the show, look up Blanc. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we got Pac-Man World Repack, which looks really
Yay.
fun. So
Does it really?
check that out.
When I saw Pack World, I was just like, not zero.
No,
My interest went through the floor.
no, it looks fun because you know what, like I think they're just trying to have fun with it. Right?
Yeah.
They're like, we're just gonna make something stupid, like, and we're it's not too pretentious, right? So I kind of like that. Yeah. Sonic Frontier. Speaking of not being pretentious, Sonic Frontier. There's a new trailer with more zones, so there you go. You can stop complaining about the sparse world because now we got even more sparser world.
I was gonna say people were disappointed I didn't talk about it in the game. It was like, or in my video, they're like, "Why didn't you talk about Sonic Frontier?" And I'm like, "What would I have said about it?"
I don't know what to say about
it.
Like,
was present.
Sonic.
It was currently at the at the direct. Okay.
Yeah. It
They participated in that direct.
You know how like you're taking roles like you know, in school, it's like Sonic like present.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
what that felt like. Yep. All right. We got Live Alive. It's just worth mentioning because the demo is available now. So if you want to try Live Alive demo, the saves will transfer into the full game. So whatever you do in there, you're practically already playing the game. So good stuff. I think it's 3 chapters worth. So
oh wow,
really pretty good. Yeah.
Any 3 chapters are
like,
just because
no, I'm pretty sure it's like predetermined, like pre.
I was gonna say if you could play any 3 chapters, that would be that'd be basically the entire game because you just start a new save. But anyways,
I mean, isn't 3 chapter like a third of the game already? So like,
you are correct. It is a third of the game.
So there you go. A third of the game is in demo.
Wow,
I
generous.
think it's 3 chapter. I could completely wrong, but I know the demo is out because I've seen people play the demo. I've seen people stream the demo already. So. All right, let's talk about some new games. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. This is a collaboration between Ubisoft and Nintendo. It is a second Mario and Rabbids game. And just like the previous one, it is a tactical RPG that plays heavily onto the terrains and placement of units. Very similar to XCOM without the RNG and a lot more fun. Want to take a look at that trailer real quick, sir?
Let's. The game footage is not final, FYI.
The galaxy's in danger.
Poor Toad. Peach looks a little different this time.
That's a little.
Rosalina looks about the same though. Engage in wild tactical battles.
It looks so fun.
Man. I feel bad though because the Rabbids are the turnoff for me in this. But it's that guy who actually like made this impossibility. So I can't hate on him too much, but
yeah.
It's cool though.
Like this game is way more fun and way more polished than it has any reason to be.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, could you imagine like just phoning it in when you have access to the Nintendo license?
Yeah,
like,
man.
If you wanted to make some like, you know, an action RPG or a strategy RPG, with Mario somehow.
Yeah, what would you make?
Like, I mean, whatever you would make, it had best be like the best work you've ever done. Right?
Oh yeah, a tactical RPG would be the last thing I think to make. And boy, this game is it. This game is great. Check it out. So this game will be coming out on October 20th. Again, just I don't have time. I don't have enough lives to play this.
It's true.
October 20th on the Switch. Yeah.
It is so unfortunate how little time we have. Okay, so we also have a game called Little Noah Scion of Paradise, which is a roguelike action platformer from Psy Games. Psy Games, right?
Yes.
Where you play as the genius alchemist Noah and her cat companion Zipper as they explore mysterious floating ruins. It has revealed that there are at least 2 planned sets of DLC for Little Noah, and we also have a bit of a trailer to take a gander at here.
Let's do it. So Psy Games, other folks who does Grand Blue Fantasy. Remember we talked about that Grand Blue game? Yeah, that's Psy Games.
Yeah.
So they just basically shadow dropped this. No announcements.
Was
nothing.
this the side-scrolling action RPG that I?
Yes.
Okay, I saw this during. Yeah, this looks super interesting, and actually, I wouldn't have probably been super interested in this if I hadn't recently played the Eiyuden Rising. Actually,
Yes.
because I wasn't super into side-scrolling RPGs at all until that kind of made me a believer, and now I'm kind of interested. This does look good.
So I looked at the gameplay. I think this plays a little bit like Ender Lilies, which is another game that I've recently played.
I think we talked about that one time in HitPoint as well. The name sounds really familiar.
Plays a little bit like Ender Lilies. Yeah. So this cute little game just came out of nowhere. No one expected it.
Yeah.
Was not talked about, and then just boom, here we go. It's like what?
Yeah, it's out now. And that was really surprising to see that. I felt bad because I couldn't remember the name of it when I was trying to talk about it during my video talking about all the crazy good RPGs coming out on Switch after that direct. But I threw in the gameplay of it anyway because I thought it just looked so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure you guys check that out if you have interest in some side-scrolling action RPG goodness, because that looks super cute.
Yeah, absolutely. Man. So yeah, people are talking about, yes, it is 2 sets of DLCs coming. So there's that.
Oh, by the way, that is immediately available not just on Switch, but also PS4, PC, via Steam. But it is currently digital only. So
yeah, I don't think there's any physical release plans, but if that changes, we'll let you guys know.
That's right.
Yes. Okay. So next we got another. Oh boy, another. These games are just like hitting my childhood a little hard right now. This game is called Doraemon Story of Seasons, Friends of the Great Kingdom. From Bandai Namco and Marvelous comes the second Doraemon Story of Seasons game. So they've already made one, and now this is the second one. In this game, players will basically play a Harvest Moon game, but on a different planet, controlling the Doraemon crew and using Doraemon's gadgets to aid in the farming. Let's take a look at a demo really quick. And wow, that's a different screen.
Oh yeah.
Why, hi, yes, hi everyone.
It occurred to me that I have all these scenes set up, and I just hardly ever use them. So I think I should put those to use. But yeah, look at that. So Story of Seasons, for anybody who hasn't been following, is basically what they're calling, back in the day, they used to be called Harvest Moon. So the original Harvest Moon on like Super Nintendo, Harvest Moon 64, those were this series. But the publisher copyrighted, the localization team of Harvest Moon, they own the copyright for the name Harvest Moon. So all the games that are coming out now called Harvest Moon are not connected to the original Harvest Moon games on any SNES and 64.
That's right.
This is those. the Story of Seasons games. So a little bit confusing, but there you go. And, and the new games that are coming out with the Harvest Moon game name are I don't know if they're any good or not.
Atrocious? Is that a word?
Okay. I assumed that was the case, but I didn't want to go out on a limb. So,
Man, so there you go. That is, whew, man.
yeah, that Doraemon crossover that's pretty awesome. We've been hearing about that for a while, but to see it in action now just looks really great.
Man, yeah, it's just, if I was more into farming games, I would definitely be more interested in this. But man, just Doraemon, they can't do this for me. They're like, well, are you gonna play it now? Like, this is already the second game. Time's a ticking. It's like, damn it.
I know.
Anyways, 2022 release, so sometime this year on PS5, Switch, and PC via Steam. Demo is coming soon, so you guys can experience all the wonderful, magical world of the Doraemon and Story of Seasons.
So, if given the choice between farming with Doraemon or farming with a waifu, what would you probably prefer? Just a general, infinitely difficult question I'm throwing out there to everybody. Would you rather farm with Doraemon or waifus?
Farm with waifu.
Farm with waifus? Okay. Well, if that's the case, then Square Enix has you covered because, speaking of farming simulation games, Square Enix has thrown their hat into their ring with their very own game called Harvestella, which is going to be pretty interesting for fans of Rune Factory and Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley, because this is going to be encroaching on some of that kind of territory here pretty soon. So in this game, you'll be farming, crafting, battling in dungeons as you would, and unravel the various mysteries of the Season of Death, Quietus. You want to take a gander at this trailer?
Let's do it. This kind of caught me
way
really
off guard.
Yeah. What?
Way out of left field. Like, I had never heard of this. I mean, obviously, this is one of those few things that never got leaked somehow.
Yeah, I'm like, Square Enix, look, I know you're diversifying and creating new IPs. I didn't expect this, though.
No,
I welcome it. I didn't expect it.
Yeah, I completely welcome it. So, here's one of your waifus who you get to have farm for you. Actually, it looks like she's the protagonist, so I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, so
that's okay.
Yeah.
You are the waifu.
You are the waifu. That means you get to look at the waifu more often. That's
true.
That's all that the difference is. Oh, look, you get to pet the animals.
Yes.
See, Square Enix learned from their time with NieR Automata that people like having something to look at. So, this is what was kind of interesting to me. The Quietus part. Because it just went from this happy-go-lucky to all of a sudden, Oblivion.
Yeah.
Oblivion gates are opening in the world, right? So,
yes.
I dig it, though.
It's going to be a little darker than, like, your typical, farm simulation game.
And I for one, welcome that. It looks like it's also going to be
different.
A bit more focused on some of the combat in addition. Like maybe equal parts even of combat and farming and life sim.
Yeah.
Which is
because
something...
Square Enix.
And that's fine by me because that is something that I've always really wanted in my farming sims, believe it or not. Like for some reason, when I first played Rune Factory Frontier on the Nintendo Wii back in the day, I was like, this is my jam. And then I realized that it didn't, I don't know. I stopped playing it at some point and I don't really know why. So
yeah, man.
Anyways, I'm excited to see more and something with a more polished combat system and maybe a less polished farming system, if I'm being honest, might be okay. I mean, I'm interested to see where they go. Now, some people in my video were saying that they thought that might look similar to what was it? Oninaki from Tokyo RPG Factory. Part of me is wondering if that might have been developed by Tokyo RPG Factory or the team that
The
was
remnants thereof.
Yeah, because we haven't heard
Yeah.
much from them since Oninaki, right? And
I'm
I've
pretty
been
sure they got dissolved and reabsorbed into Square Enix.
I mean, they had
quietly.
Yeah, I mean, they had a pretty interesting like go of 3 games that well, I mean, they haven't announced anything else. So that's why I was saying like if they haven't already been working on other things, they certainly are, and this could be them sort of.
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
So anyways, I don't know. That's more
Yeah.
just conjecture. I'll maybe we'll figure it out when we see more of the credits at the end of the show or at the end of the game or something, you know?
Yes.
So
So this one is coming in November.
November 4th. Oh my gosh. So far, it's just been like, okay, we got one in September, we got like 3 in October, 1 in November.
Mhm.
Where are we gonna get the time?
That's not to mention all the games that has already been announced in
I
the
know.
same time frame.
I know.
This-
It is
I-
it's a lot. You know, just
So
okay.
hacker, anyone? So hacker?
Hey,
That's
hey,
coming.
Baku, shut up. Okay. We got another game that's going to make me very happy to play at some point, I am sure of it, called
Yes.
Dragon Quest Treasures. Eric and
Yes.
Mia from Dragon Quest XI return in this prequel spin-off adventure exploring the world with the young siblings by using their unique treasure hunting abilities and with the help of helpful monsters. So monster recruiting is back, and it looks like an action RPG. The combat's going to be in real time. It's going to be nuts. And we have a trailer.
Yes.
Let's check it out. I have been waiting.
It
waiting.
looks so good.
When I saw this, my brain exploded because I've been
Yeah.
waiting to see this in action for so long. It looks good. Let's go. Yeah. Dragon Quest Treasures.
Dragon Quest Treasures.
Yeah. And we'll find out more later. Well,
sorry.
okay,
that
so
was
that's the wrong trailer,
this is
wasn't
the,
it?
This is the yeah. I think I got to the wrong trailer, but you
That's
know
okay.
what? You get the point. Yeah.
Go find the Nintendo Direct one if you want to see more of it in action. But it actually has a lot of good-looking combat. It looks a lot less like the. You know, I've criticized Square Enix action RPGs for being too teleporty and wild. This looks a bit less over the top. It looks a bit more like my jam, and I'm down for that.
A little more grounded. Yeah.
Yeah, a little more grounded indeed.
A little more grounded.
A little
yeah.
less like floating in space, swinging the sword 17 times before hitting the floor. Yeah, a little more
no air combo.
literally.
I mean, no air combos.
Yeah.
No air combo. No?
Yeah, exactly. A little more literally grounded.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what you got now,
Yeah.
Baku?
All right. So this one, this is an interesting reporting, but let me start with this. So this game was featured in Nintendo Direct, but only in the Japanese version.
Oh,
Then in a couple of days, they announced that this game is actually available in Japan and Southeast Asia. And I was almost willing to bet with the people in my Discord that this game would not make it to the West. But I was wrong. Just 2
Oh.
days ago, during I think Anime Expo, they announced that this game will, in fact, get a Western release, even though it's digital only. So I was like half right. They weren't going to have a full release. It's only a digital release. This game is called Ultra Kaiju Monster Rancher.
Oh,
So, man, this is a collaboration that no one saw coming.
I mean,
But
Monster
it makes
Rancher
perfect
and
sense.
Kaiju. That sounds like so. So when you say Kaiju, the visions that come to mind are like Godzilla, and
Kind of.
well,
Kind of.
maybe not Godzilla, but like Mothra, like the
Kinda.
giant monster fighting kind of.
It is definitely Giant Monster, but
Yeah.
not from Godzilla. It's from the Ultraman series. And that was the reason why I thought it was going to
Okay.
happen, because no one knows Ultraman in the West. Like, no one cares. Well, okay, not no one, but like the
It's pretty
general
niche.
consciousness. Yeah, it's extremely niche, right?
Okay.
It's like Kamen Rider, and then there's Ultraman. It's like, what the heck is Ultraman?
So Kaiju
Right.
is specifically Ultraman specific
In this game. at
in
least.
this game. Okay.
He's the Ultraman Kaiju. So that's why it's Ultra Kaiju. It's like
Okay.
Ultraman Kaiju. So Ultra Kaiju, Monster Rancher. Again, no one saw this coming. No one thought there would be a new Monster Rancher game. And no one thought that they would do a Monster Rancher game with Ultraman Kaiju. But here we are, 2022. There's a new Monster Rancher game in town. But now the monsters are known as Kaiju from the Ultraman series. Let's take a look at the trailer. Because, man, I saw that and I was about to die from looking at the trailer.
Gamora. I know Gamora. Oh, wait.
With the stupid music.
Train
too.
your Ultra Kaiju. What?
Yes. Yeah, so you summon these kaiju just like you do in the original Monster Hunter game,
Yeah.
which should bring back all. God, no.
Ah. This is so. This is so silly. I love it. Training drills. Yeah. Oh, happy. Oh, there's Ultraman.
That's Ultraman. Yeah, Ultra Snowman.
Ooh.
And of course there are battles. Of course there are.
Well, you have to have battles.
You have to have battles.
He's so
you
happy.
can combine kaijus.
What?
Yes. Look at that.
Dude, that's cool.
You're gonna need a bigger wrench, it says. So there you go, man.
Whoop. Yeah, that.
I was happy when I saw that. I was really happy when I saw that.
Oh, dude, that's sweet. Why wouldn't they not show that during the partner direct for Nintendo?
I don't know, but well, I guess so I think this is Bandai Namco, so I think they wanted to save this for Anime Expo.
Yeah, for their
But
big
same-
event. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but during Anime Expo, it was just like I don't know. This is why I didn't even talk about it, because like the Bandai, they had like a Bandai like present kind of thing in Anime
Yeah.
Expo, and it was just like so meh. Like it was just all
this
these
was
things
the
that we've already
highlight, huh?
seen. Yeah, but that was actually the highlight, because that has not been shown anywhere else. So I'm just like, well, there you go. They had to had something. So it's super awesome. I hope you guys will get the game. It is going to be released sometime in 2022. So, sometime in the latter half of the year. So look forward to it.
All right. Well,
All right.
moving along, we have some anime news that we get to talk about. Just one piece of anime news this time, though, and that is something that we've previously reported on, an anime that is going to be coming to, an anime about Trials of Mana, the Teardrop Crystal anime trailer. Yeah, we got
Legend of Mana. Legend of Mana.
what did I say? Trials? Gosh.
You said Trials.
I got
Because boy, if there's a Trials of Mana anime, I will freak out. But no, it's Legend of Mana.
Okay,
So I'm
sorry.
happy, but not freaking out.
Thank you for the correction. Legend of Mana Teardrop Crystal anime trailer has dropped. As previously reported, the anime will be a TV series that centers around the Jumi arc of the Legend of Mana game, and the
That's right.
new trailer features the theme song of the new anime, and will also give us a glimpse of Seraphina, which is the default name of the female protagonist of the PS1 title.
That's right. Yeah.
So
So in previous arts, they've only shown the main protagonist, right? So we just sort of
Yeah.
assume that like that's all you're getting. But now we see that the female protagonist, named Seraphina, will be in the anime. Now we still don't know, how which viewpoint you're gonna see, how they but you
Mhm.
know they're there. So super exciting stuff.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and try taking a look at this teaser trailer. If you're watching this later and there's no trailer audio, then there's a good chance that it got hit by DMCA and I removed it. So
Dang
otherwise,
you, DMCA.
I know. But look at that. That is some pretty nice looking animation there.
Yeah. It looks a lot better than I thought it would be.
It definitely
love, like,
does.
I love that they maintain some of that like sort of like fairy tale like art
Yeah.
book sort of style, like coloration.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but they didn't go too far with it. I feel like
Yeah, they didn't go too far into it.
I mean, at a certain point, it would become impossible to animate with that style.
Yeah.
I think so. There were definitely some concessions that had to be made to make it fit like
Yeah.
a current like workflow for anime production, but it looks solid and distinctively mana inspired.
Yes. Yep. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Right as you were turning away, Seraphina shows up. I was like, hello, you forgot about me. We just talked about her.
My bad. I mean, they always do that with these trailers. It's not always. It's like
No.
1 out of 10 times. There's this crescendo at the end, and the music ends, and then it immediately switches to the next show.
It's like, but wait, there's more.
Yep, exactly. They always 60% of the time they do it every time.
That's how they get you.
All right, so let's move on to some industry
Yeah.
news because you got something here that I'm kind of curious about. Well, what is going on?
Yes, let's do it. Okay, so One Piece Odyssey developer diary. Now, I'm not gonna go too much into this. It's a whole 11-minute video. Links in it down in the description. That it talks about a whole lot of things that we've kind of already reported. So you're not getting any new news here.
Mhm.
But what you will get is sort of hearing from the developers why they pick certain things, why did they do the combat a certain way, and just like hear kind of like their process and design choices. So I think this is like interesting in a different way, but it's one of those things where like you really have to watch it yourself to appreciate it. Like I can't just sit here and talk, or should I say, I can sit here and talk about, it, but it's gonna take like an hour or two just to dissect each of the point. It's better that you just watch it. So if you're a fan of One Piece, you're interested in One Piece Odyssey, the game that's coming soon, or you're a game designer yourself, which I actually known a couple of people, and I think some of you guys watching right now may actually be game developers. Take a look at it. I think it's super interesting. I watched it and I loved every minute of it. So there you go. Down the description. That's all we're really going to say about it.
Alrighty. Well,
Yes.
in that case, I'll talk a little bit about some Sony news. And when I say Sony news, I'm not talking about PlayStation, because Sony has announced a new line of gaming electronics called InZone with
InZone.
InZone, which is honestly it's a dumb name because
I think they're targeting millennials, man. Like
I don't think so. That sounds boomery. That sounds really boomery.
really?
I think.
It sounds boomery.
Yeah.
It sounds like stuff that we're like. Okay,
So let me tell you, in my
Yeah,
town where I live and where I grew up, there was this place called InZone. It's a sporting goods store, and it's so full of like the cheapest, crappiest like sneakers and stuff, like
no.
and like bad iron-on like logo T-shirts and stuff. Like it's like
no.
yeah, it's just bad. So when I hear InZone, I can't help but think of like this place that attracts like 40-year-old dudes who like want a K-State shirt or something. Like, nah, that's okay. Yeah.
Okay,
So
it
anyways,
does sound boomery.
go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it sounds boomery, but it sounds like names that they would have used to target the '90s kids, which is why I was saying, like, are they hating us again with nostalgia?
No, maybe. Because
They
it
might as
does.
well say extreme on everything.
'Cause it
That's the
says-
other way to get us, right?
Right. So yeah, I guess calling it the Zone or whatever. But I mean, honestly, Sony is a name that is nostalgic enough for most of us. Because like I had a Sony Walkman and like boombox and stuff back in. Well, anyways, so they have this sub brand, I guess now called InZone, which now has gaming monitors and headsets, which Okay. I mean, I thought that they had their Vizio. Wasn't that Sony Vizio? That or Bravia was their brand of
Bravia,
displays.
yeah.
But anyways, so now they have this InZone stuff where they're selling monitors. So the M9 is priced at $899 US and features a 4K 144 hertz panel with a full array local dimming, 1 milliseconds gray to gray response time, which I think is pretty good, and a bit lower priced, about $529, is the M3, and it is a 1080p, but it's 240 hertz refresh rate, which is
Shooters.
it's a
Good
lot
for
of
the
hertz.
shooters.
It's a lot of hertz.
Yeah, it's a lot of hertz, but
Especially in the wallet. Now, both monitors are compatible with the PS5, as we would hope, over HDMI 2.1 to take full advantage of the G-Sync and variable refresh rate gaming. And it will be available this winter. It's coming with, I'm sorry, there are also, rather, 3 different headphones that are priced between $100 and $300. So they got one that's $299, $229, and $99. They're all part of this lineup as well. The headphones will be available this summer. So,
yes.
Wow, Sony headphones are, I don't know.
Sony headphones,
They're not too bad. I mean, but these are going to be InZone, so I don't know.
InZone.
I just hope. I don't know. Part of me is like, oh, this bodes poorly when they're like coming up with new brands and like pushing stuff out, because like, I don't know. It sounds like it's supposed to be good, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see.
The only thing that makes me think this might work out is Sony does make premium display, and their headphones are pretty good.
Does Sony make premium displays though, or does LG make premium displays and then sublease those out to other manufacturers? Like,
however it works.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So maybe they get the better binned products. Maybe that's what it is.
So Sony's always, pricing just a little above all the other people in TV, and somehow they still manage to sell them. Now, I don't know if it's kind of like a brand name effect, or do they actually calibrate and do things better on the software end? But
it's usually brand name effect. I mean, Sony is they do miraculous work when it comes to miniaturizing things, which is something that we saw with everything from the Walkman, to the Discman to the from the PlayStation, the PS1, miniaturizing PS2 Slim. They're masters of miniaturization, and that's how they kind of got really notorious. Like, they had incredible engineering. Are these electronics though? Like, I feel like their mechanical engineering is what used to set them apart by a wide margin. I don't know so much about their electronics components designs. I mean, of course, PS5. I mean, they've put their brute force into that. So if this were like PlayStation branded television or displays, rather, PlayStation branded headsets that were at these price point, then maybe I'd be like, okay, interesting. But I don't know. Something about them going out on a limb with this whole new brand, it just has me.
InZone.
And maybe it's the name. Maybe it's the name. I can't help it. But
it's a terrible name. Please, Sony, come on.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm glad I'm not alone in thinking that.
Stupid name. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad that I'm not alone in this. It just makes it like, it sounds like something cheap, but and maybe overpriced.
Maybe. Well,
we'll see.
We'll have to see once it comes out. Yep.
I'll tell you. I'll give you my opinions once LTT gives them to me.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so SEGA is looking to adopt ATLUS games for live action TV and movies, including Persona.
What?
All right. So in an exclusive IGN, SEGA revealed that expanding the storytelling forms is the new and important part of SEGA's overall business strategy. So they are looking to bring series like Shin Megami Tensei, Persona, and Catherine to potential live television films and TV adaptations. Now, there are no further details on this. It's just like, a huge mentioning to IGN. But Sega and Atlas is in the middle of working with different production companies and studios to sort of explore the idea.
Mhm.
So that's kind of interesting.
Okay.
Now, from my perspective, I think that if they ever bring Persona to TV, they could probably do like pretty good live action TV in like Japan. Like that wouldn't be difficult. And in fact, they do that quite often. So I don't think it's anything too crazy because they would bring like anime to TV, they would bring games to anime, and sort of just by the transitive property, it's not crazy to think that they can bring games to live action TV in Japan. Now, I keep saying that because, well, the setting of Persona is in Japan, so that wouldn't be all too weird. But when they try to bring that to the West, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you're starting to remember like the trauma that was like Dragon Ball Evolution, and just like all the gross like Hollywood like things that they try to
Yeah.
push out. And I say this because, not to be like a weeb elitist, but like in Japan, they tend to stick to the script a
Yeah, the
lot
source
more. They
material.
they
Yeah.
instead to stick to the source material a lot more. They get to work with the people who wrote these stories. They get to communicate in the native language, so it's a lot easier to convey their ideas. Once that moves overseas, that no longer applies, and it's just like the creative, like there's this like creative license from Hollywood that just kicks in, and a lot of times it doesn't bode well with the fans because they
Oh,
don't
yeah.
respect the original source. So I'm hoping that when they say live TV and movies, they're talking about like at least like a Japanese production team
Yeah.
that, like, actually takes, like, good care of the work.
Mhm.
Um, Maybe Catherine because, Catherine I feel like Catherine, if there's one of these things, SMT Persona, Catherine, if there's one that could potentially make it out into the West with, like, a Western production team and still probably pretty good, I think Catherine's it.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
that you're
Catherine's it.
probably right.
Yeah.
I think also, the world of SMT, like, if they covered one of, like, the originals that, like, shows Tokyo being
Mhm.
destroyed and, like, how, like, demons, like, infesting like, that could be really cool. And, like,
Mhm.
if they don't try to get if they it'd be nice to see them try to make an independent story within the world of SMT, that
Mhm.
doesn't, like it sticks to the lore, but doesn't like try to recreate the content of a game. I think that would be
Mhm.
probably
Yeah,
a,
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
pretty good way to do it. I think if they try to
Mhm.
do it with Persona in particular, it would fail pretty hard, I think. I
You
think
think so?
I think I think that it would really do poorly. Yeah.
Mm.
Something about like
Okay.
the whole concept of like using your inner demons to fight literal demons, I think would be really difficult to capture in live action form where you can't really like easily convey inner monologues and such, right? And
Mhm.
like there's a lot more nuance that you'd have to kind of capture in a shorter amount of time. And I think
Mhm.
that would be tough to do. And if they don't follow, and if they try to make an independent story that takes place in the universe, you're just creating an SMT title. So
Mhm.
that's why I'm like, yeah, if they want to create an SMT title, maybe that would work. But I'd like to see them do something with Yakuza. Could you imagine a Yakuza movie or TV show would
They
be
have made a Yakuza movie.
how was it?
Terrible.
All right, well, never mind. Let's cancel this whole thing.
It was so bad. But it
Scrap
was
it.
so bad, it's hilariously bad. It was
Was it
hilariously
like
bad. Okay,
self-awarely hilarious, or was it
I
like
don't know. I don't know if
you
they're
don't
self-aware.
know it was so
I'm
bad you don't
not
know if they were
sure.
trying?
Okay, no, okay. So one of the character, his name is Majima. He wears an eye patch, right?
Yeah.
And throughout the movie, the eye in which he is blinded would switch sometimes. Okay. And there was this one scene where he would like peek from a corner, but with like the eye patch side. And I'm just like,
Okay, that sounds like it has to be on purpose.
I don't even know anymore. That's the thing, because the rest of the movie is kind of serious, but also like really cheaply made. So I just
maybe it's not that his eye patch is flipping sides. Maybe they're just flipping the footage without regard to which side of the face his eye patch is supposed to be on.
I don't even know. But
Okay.
look, it was so bad it's good, but also like don't watch it unless you're a huge fan. If you're a huge fan, watch it. But just
Now, on the subject of like when IPs from Japan try to come west and Hollywood ruins them, I feel like a lot of that, what something you said about that really made me angry at all of the missed opportunities that we've had for like excellent things to come over, and I feel like a lot of that has to come from basically Hollywood saying, "Oh, we know how to reach people. We know how to make movies. We know how to make
we know our people."
Right.
Right.
They're
Our
saying we know our people. And so they're like, let us adapt this for the American audience. And then it fails because they don't realize that the American audience that they're trying to reach are the people who have already been reached through the Japanese way of storytelling. And
Yes.
and by trying to like Americanize a story for, an American public, you are essentially stripping it of everything that made it great in the first place.
It's a strange catch-22 kind of thing.
Yeah, so
It
just
really
don't do
is.
it. That's
Just don't do it.
so Atlas, yeah, Sega Atlas, just not cool, bro. Stop. It's okay. You just make great video games. Do not try to do a Square Enix or a Squaresoft rather. Do not do a
And
Squaresoft.
blow all your money on a movie,
Yeah. Just
Oh,
stick to what
boy.
you do and do it well.
Stick to what you do and do it well. Yeah. Well, I mean, counterpoint. There's a Sonic movie, and that did pretty well. So, in fact, better than the games that.
True. Yeah. Okay.
There's that.
Okay, that's a solid counterpoint. I mean, granted, the game or the movie was not a piece of cinematic awesomeness, right? Like it was very much a children's show that happened to be enjoyable for non children as well. So,
Maybe that's what they should do. Just pick IPs that can do that.
maybe, I don't know. But then again, I don't know. Moving on. I have not got opinions.
Very
that I
torn
wa-
on this one.
Yeah.
All right. So let's switch over to my screen really quick, sir.
You betcha.
Let's talk about some merch drops because I know you guys love the merch.
Oh,
And
yeah.
You guys know I love talking about figures.
Figures.
So now we got a Street Fighter. Chun-Li and Cammy are being turned into Papa Parade figures. Now, last show we talked about Papa Parade. You guys know I'm a big fan of games. Good Smile Company. They're the folks responsible for the Papa Parade figure. And this one right here, this is the Chun-Li figure. And the reason why I like the Papa figure, again, is because they tend to release in a whole set of figures. So if you're a Street Fighter fan, prepare for more. This is just like the first like two of probably more to come. And they're pretty affordable. So I think they're somewhere between like $40-$50, which again is already affordable especially with the inflation and what have you.
Mhm.
But if you're a big fan, like this is affordable for as far as figure is concerned. So this is the Chun-Li figure that's painted. They also have a unpainted Cammy figure that's here. Links in the description down below, so you guys can take a look at it at your own leisure. But there you go. That's what the Cammy one's gonna look like. Just that this is the unpainted. What's it called? Like the pre-production sort of prototype.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's typically what they do. They'll have like the concept art, they'll have the unpainted version, they'll have a painted version. Once you see a painted version, that's close to pre-order. And once you can pre-order, they go into production. Couple months in, they send it out to you. That's like the sort of the life cycle of like figures. So there you go. I would expect the pre-order for Chun-Li to come out soon. And really, again, because this is Papa Parade, just expect there to be more Street Fighter figures in this price range coming soon. So that's for all the Street Fighter fans. Next we got another set of figures. This is going to be a little bit more premium. This is not the Papa Parade, but in fact, this is the NieR Automata A2 deluxe version figure from Flare. There are actually 3 versions of this, and you can see it's $310. Now that's more like a figure price. So $50, relatively inexpensive. But this is also much higher quality, and also larger. So that's the trade-off. Now, this is the A2 figure, which I've already pre-ordered, because I like NieR Automata so much. So it comes in a long hair version that you can see here. I don't know why it keeps changing. Can you stop, please? Okay, thanks. Just because God, stop. I'm not talking down. Talk about the browser. Yeah,
It looks like the site is having some weird issue.
You know what? I'm gonna refresh this page. Oh, there we go. Okay. So yeah, so you can see the long hair version, and also it's got the short hair version with the spear, right? So the deluxe version actually comes with like both parts, so you can kind of change between the two. But it also comes with just the long hair version or just the short hair version. So you don't feel like getting one, you just prefer one over the other. You can absolutely do that. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is the 2B figure, actually, of the same line is being reissued for the 3rd time. And that doesn't happen very often. Yeah, for the 3rd time. So it came out one time when like near the game like come out like what like a couple years ago. Then it got re-released again, I think like last year, the year before that, and now it's being released for the 3rd time. So just like the A2 figure, there are 2 versions. There's the standard version and also the deluxe version. And basically deluxe version, you can like remove her eye patch, which has some kind of like significance in the game that I won't get into. But again, just super high quality, super detailed. Highly recommend it if you're a collector and you like the series. But yeah, so hey, if you don't want to miss this again, this is the 3rd time. And if you've been wanting to get this, maybe get it this time. These figures are available right now for pre-order in the Square Enix site, which you're looking at right now. Links in the description down below, and also through AmiAmi, which is my favorite way of getting figures. So that's pretty much it for all the merch that's coming out.
And if you only have like a few $100 at your disposal, you've got a difficult choice between yours on your horizon here, guys. To be or not to be? That is the question.
Just get both. Just do it. Just do it. Just live on ramen for like a month. I don't know. Like that's how we do.
All right, guys. Well, hey, that is about it for today's show, except for some
super
comments.
chat.
That's right. We've got some
super chat.
And y'all have been going pretty ham on these super chats here. So I'll just start at the top of the show.
I welcome it.
So from Scott Pilgrim, no message. He just threw us a little super chat at us. So
no message.
Yeah, no message. Well, thank you,
what
Scott.
What a waste. Thank you, Scott. But come on.
Well, then we got
to us.
We got one question here from Bad Dragonite, who says, "Do you guys play any MMOs?" Baku, do you play any MMOs?
No, not anymore, because I found out that I have like an MMO addiction, so I just don't play anymore. That's a true story. Like it would just be one more mission, and it'll just be another mission. It'll just be one more mission, just be one more raid, just be one more mission, and then I just don't sleep.
Yeah. I used to play
never again.
I used to play RuneScape a long time ago, but it did not get very far. I mean, because I was playing the free version, so I got as far as you can without paying, I think. but eventually that came to an end. So also we got another one from Bad Dragonite who says, "I hope Battle Network Collection has online. That would be nice." Normally when they have games with online interactions, they'll say like online interactions not rated by the ESRB, right? So I don't know if that has been, I don't know if that's anything to go off of, if they'll have like online what is it that they would have for online? I guess some sort of like online co-op, or it would be like head-to-head battles, or What do you know?
I do not remember. It's been
Okay.
too long.
Yeah, it's
But
I've never played them before either.
with
So
modern consoles, going online is not difficult. So yeah, I have high hopes that would be a thing that they can do, especially for if this game is on Steam.
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
All right. We got another one from Bad Dragon Knight who says,
Hello.
my guess is after this, they'll do a Star Force collection, and it's all leading up to a Legends collection with finally a release of Mega Man Legends 3.
Ooh, yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice.
I would welcome that.
I would welcome that wholeheartedly. In fact, my feelings with these collection is twofold. Number one, it gives people a legitimate way to play on new console, which is nice in terms of game preservation. We've talked about this before.
Mhm.
But maybe the more important thing is depending on these cells, that in of itself is kind of like market research.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So yeah, so people, it's not just like sending you a survey and be like, "Do you want this?" Right? Because you could just say yes, even if you don't. But when you vote with your wallet, that's a lot stronger than to say, "Yeah, sure, I want it. Why not? Yeah,
That's
I'm just
very true.
checking a box." Yeah. So, yeah. So absolutely, if the sell goes well with these titles, yeah, I absolutely expect more of these to come.
Because I can also definitely vouch for that. When like someone saying I want that and I will pay for that are two very different things.
Oh yeah.
Because there are many things that I want that I've unfortunately, to my chagrin, let slide over the years. So yeah, this is determining who out there is monetizable. I guess I suppose you could say in like a most corporate way, the coldest way possible. But it's true. Like that's what they kind of care
Yeah.
about, and it's what they have to as a
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
And Yum 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 Raisin says,
Hello.
I am sad that Network Transmission and Battleship Challenge were not included in that collection.
Really?
I don't know what Network Transmission and Battleship Challenges are,
That's
unfortunately,
upsetting.
because
Well,
I never played the Battle Network games. So
yeah, that's upsetting. I'll look more into it and see if I can find some answers.
Yum Yum
Yeah, I'll
Raisin
look.
also asked if we have any plans for having a guest speaker on, and I would say that we have plans to do so, but we don't have anybody lined up yet. We're kind of looking at maybe having some people on during the slower news cycles when we're
Mhm.
not really going to be covering a whole lot of things going on. Like, gosh, if we had started this podcast back at the start of like the COVID pandemic when no news was happening for weeks on end, it would be nothing but like having people on and interviewing them. But yeah, we're actually I'm looking at talking to other RPG YouTubers as well as maybe some indie developers and
Mhm.
maybe some not so indie developers depending on how things go. So
Mhm.
I'm definitely interested in having some people on to talk for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, I think some indie developers would be really interesting to talk to personally.
I
So
agree.
yeah, look forward to that.
Isn't anybody in particular that you would want to have to interview, Baku?
I mean, any of the games that we talked about that were super exciting to us,
Hmm.
any of those would be great, right? So not even to pick any particular, like, see, we were talking about Sea of Stars, right? We talked about what's that other one that like these names all like
Oh,
jumbled. Yeah,
uh,
it's like Atlas something, but there were like a couple with the one where you had like a double take. Like, how about that, right?
yeah,
Like talk to the developer on that one. So, we'll be looking forward to talking to some of these folks.
you bet. All
Yeah.
right. So, Still Alive dropped another super chat here. Says, since we got Shin Megami Tensei 3 and 5 on Switch, is there any chance that they may port 4 and Apocalypse as well? There are a lot of SMT and Persona on 3DS. I
I
hope
mean, the
so.
chance is always there.
Oh yeah. there's, I mean, where there is an audience willing to spend money, ATLUS will be there.
Yes.
You know, I think, gosh, a lot of it's going to depend on how easy it is to port stuff from 3DS over to Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I feel like 3DS ports have been a little infrequent from
Mm-hmm.
3DS to Switch. I don't think that there's
It's rough. It's rough.
I
Like
don't think
two
there's a really
screen.
I don't think there's a
Yeah.
turnkey way to do it. Like if we were playing on the Wii U at this point, I
Mm-hmm.
would say that'd be a lot more likely since it's got the dual screen for doing things that way. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could probably play the Switch in Tate mode and kind of get a similar effect. You know, where you turn the console on its
Yeah.
side and have like a screen above the other, but that wouldn't work for that would only work in handheld mode. So I don't know. It's possible.
Mm.
They would just have to do a lot of work to make it work, I think. To
Yeah, I mean, most of the games that actually all the games that got transferred from like 3DS and D or like DS over to the Switch, they all involve like significant retooling, and usually the games are where basically the second or like one of the gamepad is really just showing like information, like you don't need both per se. It's just the other one just has helpful information, but we can program it a different way.
Mhm.
Those typically get moved over easier, but if you really need both screens for like a certain effect or experience, there's just no way around it, in putting it into a single screen. So it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
It's like
right.
redesigning a thing.
So we got another super chat here from Duo Beard as well, who says
Hello, Dual Beard.
live action Yu Yu Hakusho featuring Super Derek. I guess I could do the Kuwabara voice, but I don't think I could pull off the Kuwabara do. I mean, I would need to
Yeah, you
train
can.
this a bit more to
Mhm.
and it'd have to be a little bit redder. But otherwise, I think I could do it.
I think so too. I can't wait. Hey, look, live action, anything with Derek, I support.
Well, you can live action Super Derek reviews. That's about as much as I can guarantee. Um,
I support that.
and then Yum Yum Raisin dropped one more here. Says
Hello.
Target is restocking PS5s in the San Francisco Bay Area. So
Hey, congratulations.
yeah, make sure you
You
guys
did it.
check out those PS5s in Target if you're in the Bay Area. So
Yeah,
sweet. All
man.
right. Well,
All right.
I do believe that about takes care of things for super chats this evening. So thank
That
you all
about
for
done do it.
joining us today. It has been a pleasure to stream for you guys today. If you are listening on various podcasting platforms of choice, if there's a way to leave us a like or a rating or something, that'd be very much appreciated. Help us expand the reach of the show, and maybe we can get some big time developers on for discussions later on if we go big. That'd be pretty cool,
One of
right?
these days, man. One of these days.
I can't wait to interview Tetsuya Nomura.
I'm gonna interview Yoshi P. You can have no more. That's fine.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
we'll divide and conquer. We'll get them both, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
If
What?
only if only we had been looking for someone to have on the show when Yoshi P did his like round of like 30 interviews.
Exactly.
Maybe we could have got one. He was just giving out interviews that time, willy-nilly.
Oh yeah. You get an interview, and you get an interview. You want an interview? I'll give you an interview.
But that'll have to wait for next time. But in the meantime, Baku, have you got any closing thoughts?
Uh, Buy a Switch today. They're plentiful and available, and a lot of games are coming. And also, again, just if anyone has a cloning machine, please let us know, because I don't know if you saw all of those
Oh
releases,
my
but it's like
God. I
September,
know.
October, November, December, into the next year. Just games and games and games and games and games. Oh my God, Digimon Survive is coming.
Oh man.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is coming. Someone was like, "Can you talk about Xenoblade Chronicles 3?" It's like, no, literally, we cannot.
All right. Well, I have one more closing thought, and that is that, hey, if you want to know more about that Japanese dude who beat up a bear who invaded his house, go check out Baku's channel called Weeb Sauce. Baku, throw a comment in the chat so people can find you, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of HitPoint. Until then, take care, everybody, and we'll see you later. Here we go.